bright. It's bright, but I like it. Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, Party Man. Good morning, Ava. Was Ava the first person here? Good morning, Enigma. Oh. Yeah, I don't stream on Sundays. You know, my dad would never take me to go see the Monster Truck Rally. I asked my dad to take me one time, because those like Sunday. The the announcer got me really excited. I wanted to see Truckosaurus. And I remember my dad saying, "That's for white folks." So I never got to go. I mean, I probably wasn't missing out on anything that intense, but I do remember asking my dad, and it was vetoed. Hello, Darius. Good morning. I hope you're doing all right. Danger commented first. So I've been sitting here for like half an hour. Oh my god. Thank you, Ava. Wow. And hello, Danger. Hello, Danger. Isn't that a thing? What's up, Danger? Isn't that a thing from like the Spider-Man movie? The animated one? Oh, yes. Soothsayer, yes. Anywho, let's get the medley started. I'm going to start the medley with songs that don't really belong to anyone. We need to give you a song, Ava. You're in here far too often to not have a song. Far too often. It'll have to be a new one. Is there a particular song that I play that you like, Ava? That hasn't been metered out to anybody else? Life is good today, says Enigma. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that because it's far too early to tell. I mean, nothing bad has happened. My favorite is Dimmer Switch, but that's ancient, so I feel bad for liking it. I wouldn't call that ancient, Ava. It's 2 years old. It's 3 years old. Wow. Okay, so maybe it is a little bit older than even I realized. No, it can't be. 2017. Yo, what did I release in 2018? I think it came out in 2018, Ava. It's me and my girlfriend's 1 year anniversary. Congratulations, Enigma. You've made it 1 whole year. I hope that you guys are good, and I hope that your girlfriend is happy. I imagine, though, that she is. 1 year, yeah. Okay, so Dimmer Switch. I wish I knew how to play Dimmer Switch on the piano. I don't remember even what it sounds like. I could look it up really quick, but... I could look it up really quick. I have a computer in front of me. I will have to leave the chat for a second, but I don't comment in the chat anyway, so nobody cares. Happy anniversary, Enigma and company. Happy anniversary. Holy crap, I made a video for this with Labobatory drink. Aww. Sweet. This is the song you like, Ava. This is fun. I wish this is how the stream actually worked. That's the one, huh? No. Wow, but that was surprisingly close for a first try. No. playing Ava? Am I close? Oh, good morning. Good morning, Maddie. I'm trying to relearn dimmer switch for Ava. Oh, what chord is that? Ooh, no. Okay, Ava. I'm sorry. Sorry for that intermission, everybody. I had forgotten one of my own songs, or at least how it sounds. Also, good morning to everybody who came into the stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Um, okay, hold on. Um, one moment, please. Has anybody in the stream, by any chance, played Final Fantasy VIII? I know this is a very specific question, but I would like to know if anybody has played Final Fantasy VIII. It's a song, I mean, it's a game that's very, very close to me. And whenever I hit a certain note on the piano, I always think of it. I have a squally on her watch. Little scroll, holy crap. Cyber. That chord, the second chord feels like it's missing something. But it's not. That should be different. And it's not that. You're so interesting, Eva. I mean, we're all interesting. I think that, I think, everybody in the stream is interesting. I feel like everybody in the stream has, like, seasons almost. Like, I'll usually, through no fault of my own, I guess it's just human nature, I'll focus in, I kind of home in on, I can only home in on one person in the stream at a time. The first person might have been Cyber, because Cyber's been coming to the stream so often. You know, you home in on Cyber, and you're like, what's Cyber's whole thing? Cyber seems to care about these things. Cyber has a squall wall scroll. A squall wall. Cyber has a wall scroll of Squall Leonhardt from FF8. Enigma says FFS, or Final Fantasy stuff, Cyber. There was a season of Maddie. There was a season of Maddie, which kind of was punctuated by Jumpin' Jaybird. I felt really close to Maddie on the stream when Jumpin' Jaybird was getting named. It was around the time that I was paying more attention to Maddie's alliteration. I remember there being a season of Lindsay, before Lindsay had to start working a bunch. And there was a Kid James season, which was a while ago. And Ava, a Mary. Everybody kind of has a time. But I feel like lately Ava's been saying a lot of things that are like, piquing my interest. Okay, Cyber says, honestly though, Medley talk a lot in any online form and interactions. I love making jokes and hoping people get my jokes. Word up. I get some of them. Um, I'm glad that you like the. So the chords you're talking about, Ava, are these chords, right? That's the descent you like? That the climb down? Something that's interesting about that, Ava, is I feel like the reason that walk down has any impact is because of restraint, right? When we really dissect dimmer switch, if we dissect dimmer switch doesn't have that many chords in it, right? The chords in dimmer switch are that chord, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It technically only has 4 chords in it. But I don't simply play the 4 chords right after one another as I typically would in one of my older songs. Um, like, I can't remember the name of this one, but this one. Remember that one? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll play it higher. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 chords, but I play them right after each other. And dimmer switch, I was trying to, well, and Lush Dream as a whole, I was trying to restrain myself from playing a bunch of chords and make really complicated music. And I feel like if you play chords really slow, or if you just alternate, like if you have 4 chords, I could play them after each other. I can play them after each other, but then none of the chords really have any significance. They're all on equal playing. If I play this chord a bunch and this chord, and then go back up to this chord, it makes this chord very, very stable and not redundant, but frequent. You know, we're always we start here and we return here. This is also the home. So if I do that, going from 1 to going to 2, and then going back to 1, and then starting again at 1, and then going to 2, and going back to 1. 1 is the majority of the song so far. And then the third time, if I go to 2, and then go down to 3, it kind of adds a completely new flavor, right, to the song. It's not that there's a bunch of extra chords, it's just that I held off on that third chord for a really long time. And then I go back up to 1, and then go to 2, and then go to 3 again, and then at the 4th chord in. So the 4th chord technically only plays once every round, you know? All of the chords are being played a different amount of times, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So like 1, the first chord is being played the most, the second chord is being played the second most, the third chord is only being played twice, and the 4th chord is only being played once. Unlike a lot of my songs where sometimes I'll have a chord that's only played once, a lot of times for signals particularly, which precedes Lush Stream, I will have chords that are only played once in the entire song, or like twice in the whole song. If you think of something like Winter Heart, the opening of Winter Heart, all of these chords. All of these chords, just like kind of a random trail of chords that are only played in the beginning and at the very end. And there are some of them that don't get carried over from the beginning to the end, so they're more special in that way. I feel like that's something that I was just trying to experiment with then, and I was like, what if I have a 4-chord song, but I play the chords in different frequency from one another? What would that sound like? And that is how Dimmer Switch was made. I very rarely ever play it live because I don't really play a lot of the Lush Stream songs live. I've just forgotten most of them because I wrote them in the same way that I write Quarantunes. Like if you guys right now asked me to play the Quarantune songs, I can't play Honeydew because I've already forgotten it. I can play Frenchman Lavender because I play that still regularly in the stream. I can't play Dreams Come True. I can't play Home Is You. I can't play I'm Not Dead. I can play Old Enough, but that's because it's so recent. And I cannot play money talks. Because when you're writing songs in like rapid succession, good morning, Lindsay. When you're writing songs in rapid succession, it's like fast food. It's in and out, it's in and out, and I don't remember the song. So a lot of the less stream songs, since they were written on a weekly schedule, I don't remember how to play most of them. But since they're so simple, the cool thing about less stream songs is kind of like you just saw, Ava. I can kind of just pull them up on my computer, and they're typically only like 4 to 5 chords max, and I can just listen and find them pretty quickly. The trick that I used to learn my older songs, like with dimmer switch, is I listen to the highest note. For example, in you kind of saw me do it, but for dimmer switch, it's da, and so I would find piano da, and with this note, I know what kind of chords I would harmonize with this note. So I just cycle through the chords I know I would harmonize with it. So one of the chords I would harmonize with that note would be this, and it's not that. One is this, it's not that. One is this, it's not that, and one is this, and it is that. Sometimes my limited chord vocabulary in my piano playing actually helps me to learn my older songs, because if I can have the melody, I just know how I would harmonize it, if that makes sense. Um, word, word, word. Word, word, word. I hope any of that made sense. I know like 5 songs and I still forget how to play. You're really good at remembering most of them. Thank you. I actually appreciate that. Somebody, a friend of mine, nobody that's coming to the streams, used to make fun of me for not knowing the songs on my album. My album being Less Stream. I can name every song on most of my releases. But Less Stream sometimes gives me trouble. Because there's some tracks like Candlelit, right? Like, if we're thinking about Less Stream, what are the songs that come up very often? People always talk about Coliseum. I can't escape people talking about freaking Coliseum. Wait, I played that wrong. So that's Coliseum. Dimmer switches. That's a dimmer switch. I know Kiwi. Yeah, a lot of it is muscle memory, Ava. I don't remember the notes of these songs. Like, even if I had to think of, like, the song Groom Cake, which is also from Less Dream, I couldn't necessarily look at the piano and see the notes, but I know the hand formations. Groom Cake goes. I can't even hear it in my head. It goes, ba, bing. Alright, sorry, it goes, bum, ping, pong, 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 ping, pong, 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 bling, pong, ping, pong. It's here, 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 and then bumping, bumping. Yeah, yeah. Just remember like hand formations. So if I had to play them in any type of different, like, if I had to like, not transpose, but like play a different interpolation of the chords, it would be very difficult for me. You don't memorize the way you memorize a paragraph of text. Your hands are learning it. You aren't memorizing. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. God, my neighborhood always smells so good in the morning. It's upsetting. But I mean, I guess I contribute to that problem. Problem. I mean, that's just food. I cook in the mornings, and I know my neighbors be smelling that. Muscle memory, baby. Hi, Kma. I didn't even see you in here. Hello, Kma. Yes, muscle memory indeed. Maddie says, when I had piano recitals, I could barely memorize 1 or 2 pieces just for that. So it's always so impressive seeing you recall all this music. I occasionally ask, says Cyber, for me to play Chocolat, but I think it's like he described. It's one of those music in music out tracks. Yeah. Chocolat, you wanna know how Chocolat was made? Yeah, I mean, we'd love to know. My face itches so much. Okay, like I always feel like my nose is running because of my mustache. Well, it doesn't really feel like it's running. It just feels like things are trying to crawl into my nose because it's like really curly hair. Okay, so sorry, that's too much information. The way chocolat was made is Tom lives in. Let's say Tom lives in LA. Tom lives in LA. I went over to his house and we were like, let's make a song. And he started making drum stuff, and I went over to a keyboard that he has and I wrote the chords. I was just like bing bong bing bong bing, and he was like, "Oh, those are cool," and I was like, "Oh, I was just getting warmed up," but turned out those were good enough. So then he messed around with those chords in MIDI, and I think I just like goofed around on my phone, and then I went home. So like a lot of the drum programming, if not all, is actually him. But I played those chords in a very improv type setting. I kind of just like walked up to a keyboard and did that. And he was like, "Oh, sick! Well, that's the song." And then he sent it to me later, and I added some MIDI. But I never really played that song. And when I went, even when I went on tour that year, wait, uh, hmm, huh, yeah, yeah, wow, what? Yeah, I did play that song on tour. Sorry, I played it on tour. When I played it on tour, I just played leads over it. I like had like a sax sound. I was just rocking out on lead over it. So yeah, I don't really know the chords to that song anymore. Most of my collaborations work that way. Even stuff like if you think about that song, the one with Abby Press, "Follow Me." I'm always afraid that I'm always afraid that I'm gonna forget it because when we wrote it, I don't know how many of you guys have been in the studio with other artists or in a studio at all, or just in a collaborative like jam type effort. Hello, Bro Rose. It's been a while since you've been in one of the streams. Indeed, welcome and thank you for making the time. But when I'm working in a studio with a lot of other artists, people are just brainstorming, and you're kind of just throwing out ideas like rapid fire. Like people will have a drum loop going, and I'm like, is that good? Does this work? And I'll kind of just keep jamming until somebody goes, "Hey, stop! That was good. What the thing you just did? Can you just run that back and keep playing that?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, this." And they're like, "Yeah, just keep looping that." And then I keep looping that until they get a good cut of it. And they're like, "Okay, you're good. We're gonna just be adding like vocals." And I'm like, "Oh, chill. I'm gonna go get like a burrito or something." And I go get a burrito, and I come back, and they're like, "I mean, yeah, you can add little accents here and there." And then like 9 months later, the song gets released, and people are like, "We love it. We love it. Can you play it? Can you play it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I can't do that. I'm so sorry." I think in my brain, whoa, my hair was doing a weird thing. My hair moves sometimes like I'm underwater. Like it has this weird spring to it. Anyway, I would like to know how many songs I actually have in my head. It's almost impossible to tell because there's a lot of weird songs like Clover Salad that I don't really play in the string too much, but I definitely, obviously remember. Or there's songs like this one, like. I don't play this song ever anymore. Hey. There's like a few songs that I know and I can play, but they don't have names, and sometimes I just don't really play them often in the stream, so I don't know how to take those into consideration. But I would like to know how many songs are actually in my brain that I can just rattle out and play. Because there have been streams, I don't know if you guys have been in them, they don't happen as much anymore now that the chat's pretty active. But there have been streams where I just play silently nonstop for like an hour and a half, and it's just all improv and new and old material. Like I have a lot of songs in my head, I just don't know how to count them. Kmon says I always enjoy improvising, but recently I feel like I'm just playing the same thing over. How do you force yourself not to play the same thing all the time? Well, Kmon, I don't. I don't force myself to stop playing the same thing over and over. I just do that. Oh, enjoy your time with your girlfriend, Enigma. Thanks for being in the stream. Thank you. Again, happy anniversary to you too. Kama, if you come into the streams, I do kind of play the same thing over and over, right? You're not a machine, basically, Kama. So if I come into the stream, usually I'll start out with, depending on who's in here, because there are certain people on the stream that have certain songs that are kind of theirs. I've like given to them. I'll usually only play like Over and Under if Cyber's in the stream. I definitely only play Jumpin' Jaybird if Maddie's in the stream. Vanilla, Lindsay, and Kid James, Reflection Pool, and so on. So there are some songs that I'm always going to be playing, and there's other songs that don't particularly belong to anybody. But if I'm just left to my own devices and I'm bored or idle, I will like occasionally play songs from Signals like Winter Heart, or I'll play Love Letters, or I'll play Union Station, or if Isadora's in here, I'll actually play the 78th Downtown. And so I'm going to be playing a lot of the same songs over and over again. Absolutely, Kmon. But if you've been in the stream long enough, you know that a lot of these songs have come from other songs. For example, I was playing Vanilla. Let me get to it. Sorry. So I was playing Vanilla and I got to this chord and I liked this chord, so I stayed there and made an arpeggiator out of it, or arpeggio. And then I ended up adding different notes to it to kind of change the harmony came up. And I was like, oh, this is different enough from Vanilla, or this can be its own song. And then I was trying to like sound it out and flesh it out and see what could be added to it. So the song that I'm playing right now came isn't Vanilla anymore at all. It's a song called French Lavender. So sometimes, even if you're playing the same thing over and over again, a finger can slip, you can get a new idea and take it a different direction, right? I would like to think of songs instead of as like solid piece of works as kind of like a vocabulary where I have a certain amount of chords, like that chord progression that I play constantly is part of my vocabulary. So I can take this chord progression and I can turn this chord progression into catching up, or I can turn it into a key line. Or I can take that chord progression and I can turn it into thin air. So I like to think of songs came out as a vocabulary, and while you're playing and while you're improvising, even if you're playing the same things over and over, maybe you take one chord from a different song and you put it into a different song. Maybe you're improvising over a song you've played a million times before, and you think, what if I went here instead? I've even done that with Vanilla. Vanilla's a very solid piece of work, and at one time I was playing Vanilla in the stream, and Lindsay will remember this. I just kind of started throwing in random chords and harmony that don't belong in that song. And it made the song a lot longer and more fun to play. But this is how you can kind of keep it fresh so that you're not playing the same thing over and over. But try not to be too hard on yourself and think that you need to constantly be playing new and interesting things. A lot of times things are going to be the same for innovation to come in. It's like just think of it as vocabulary, please, right? The car is going to look the way the car looks for a really long time before it advances or changes, Houses, instruments, musical instruments, computers, innovation and improvisation takes time sometimes to get something new. why Agnes exactly? There was a song. Okay, so there was a game in an arcade, a local arcade called Guitar Freaks. It was hooked up to another game called Drum Mania or something like that. These were all rhythm games. They were Bamani games. I was a big like rhythm and music game kid when I was in high school. So in that game, there was a really hard song called Agnes DEI or DEI or something like that. Agnes DEI, or maybe it was by somebody called Agnes DEI. I can't really remember. I just remember that leaving a pretty big impact on me because it was like a really hard song. Like we just couldn't beat it. It was seen. It was like this insurmountable obstacle in my gaming, my arcade time. And I remember when I started making music, being a child, we're all someone's children, being young and being, oh my god, you know what I'm talking about. What is that? What is that? Is it pronounced Agnes Day? Why am I saying DEI? Probably because, what is it? Cyber, what is that song? Sorry. While you answer, I'm going to finish the rest of my story. Anyways, for whatever reason, to me, as a teenager, Agnes DEI was the. Oh, it's a song by an artist called Azaki, called Agnes Day. Well, it was a very hard song, Cyber, for me, and Guitar Freaks. Also, one of the controllers was broken. Not going to get into that. But when I started making music, I was making really, really fast, noisy music. I didn't know any better. I didn't really know what I was doing. And because I was young and unoriginal, I liked that name. I thought the name Agnes was cool. I thought the name Agnes was cool. So my first musician handle was Agnes and then DJ Agnes. For no reason. I just called myself DJ Agnes because I thought that that's what you did. I thought that that's what producers did. You just added DJ to the front of your name, even though you weren't actually a DJ. Anyways, yeah, that's why my first handle was Agnes. Um, um, Cyber. Not a very cool story, but it is a thing I remember. A lot of people don't remember when I was called Agnes. Nobody remembers, like, nobody can name a song I released as Agnes. I can remember a few of them. Let's switch it up. What other sounds can we play that in? And other rhythms, huh? I'm sure Liana's tired of hearing the same old song and the same old rhythm. Oh, I'm not gonna do that to you though. Ooh, but maybe, no. I'm gonna mess up this song, Liana. I'm gonna mess it up. I just want to give you a forewarning. A double Lutz. JRPGs. You know what's interesting, Liana? I have felt like I needed to sneeze for the past like 4 hours. But you know what's interesting, Liana? That happens inevitably because of context, right? Okay, so, oh, I'm so glad you said that, Liana. I'm so glad you said that. So, if I'm playing, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. If I'm playing piano and I'm playing the song, Love Letters for context, or like that. If I'm playing that song, but then I play that same exact song in saxophone. Usually, I will alter the way I play things depending on the instrument because of context. Sometimes when I hear a saxophone sound, I'm like, oh, I know what that is, and I know what that sounds like. When I've heard other people play saxophones, I know what it sounds like. And it doesn't necessarily always sound like how a piano sounds. So if I'm playing saxophone, I'm going to be doing a lot of like a lot of those, like a lot of really close notes together. Whereas when I'm playing piano, I kind of just, I'll go all over the place. Ugh, I love that. This is from Kingdom Hearts, by the way. It's not like a direct rip, like it's not those exact chords, but this. Just that melody is from Kingdom Hearts. The chords underneath it are very close, but they're not exactly the ones from Kingdom Hearts. But there's no jazz chords in Kingdom Hearts, so everything I do before and after that does not fit. I taught myself some of the Kingdom Hearts music on piano as a teen. Good times, says Ava. Good times indeed. You know, Ava, I've had a lot of people, many stream viewer have come in here and asked me to play Dearly Beloved, which is, you know, the title theme from Kingdom Hearts. I've never done it, but all of my friends have, so congratulations to them. Reminds me of Axel says, Liana, that song that I just played was, I mean, this is a thing that's used a lot in Kingdom Hearts. Yoko puts it in The World That Never Was. She also plays it, if you listen to, she's like the king of that. Ugh, I love Yoko. I arguably appreciate her music in a much more personal way than I appreciate the music of Nobuo Uematsu, who did all the Kingdom Hearts music before she took over later. But, the Yoko does this like that was wrong, but Yoko does the step up climb down with like the 3 notes that is like forever ingrained in my head. So if I'm playing a song, if I'm playing like and I like go up like that, she does it like this though. She goes, if I'm going here, she does that so much, and it's like once you hear it once, you can't play Kingdom Hearts without hearing it like a million times. Specifically the 3 note like. And always a fall, never a climb. What is that? Oh God, she's so good. Anyways, Kingdom Hearts, right? Oh, Kingdom Hearts, what a great game. It's a terrible game. It's a terrible series, but it sure is a lot of fun. This next song is actually going to be a rendition of Vanilla, but with voices this time, with vigor this time. This is true, Cyber. This is true. Yoko did do that. Yoko also did the music. The first time I heard Yoko's arrangements, sorry, I lost it, was in Legend of Mana. She made the music for Legend of Mana. And even though I know she also makes the music for Kingdom Hearts, every time I play Kingdom Hearts, I can't unhear Legend of Mana music because she does have a very decided style when she's making music. Omni, have you played the PS2 game The Bouncer? Kind of like Kingdom Hearts prototype. I have played The Bouncer, yes. Sion looks a lot like Sora. Looks a lot like Sora. In fact, when I saw Kingdom Hearts was coming out, I thought that it was like, because they were like, oh, it's like Square meets Disney. I was like, oh, they're taking like the main character from The Bouncer and they're splicing them up with Disney stuff. That's actually pretty cool. But then it turns out that they weren't the same character, but they look exactly the same. The Bouncer I didn't actually like. As a beat 'em up, when I played it as a kid, somehow I couldn't get past a certain boss. Like I kept dying, and then when I played it again, it's like fun sometimes, but I feel like it's not very well made. If that makes sense, I feel like it's not very well made. Feels wonky and kind of broken. And I hate saying things like that. I hate saying them. Okay. The Bouncer is like 2 hours long. True. It is very short. It's very arcadey. Um, for sure, Ava. For sure. For sure. They put a nod to the Bouncer in Kingdom Hearts. One of the kids in Traverse Town is wearing the gang's logo. This is true, Nicholas. This is true. Who is it in the Bouncer that had like a cactar necklace or something? Somebody had like a cactar. Oh my god. Did I ever tell you about the guys where that time where I almost dated that girl that had a cactar tattoo? Did I tell you about that? Hence the word almost. Oh, let me score something awful. I just want to score like a boss fight or something. I feel like I would be able to really, really crush it. I feel like I would be. I think it would be so cool. And I would not be the first person to do this. I would not be the first person to do this. But I think that the way I would approach scoring, like, if I was doing like a lot of like a very typical like beat 'em up type game, I think I would do a lot of overworked, like classical big operatic Final Fantasy sounding stuff. But I would mix in jazz, a lot of jazz chords because I don't know who freaking cares. The girl with the cactar tattoo, Cyber, was pretty cool, actually. She was pretty cool. She was just, very annoying. Oh. Yo, people were... I kind of hate that my parents moved me into the suburbs, even though I feel like I would be a very different person, maybe if they hadn't. Maybe a less rounded person. But... Yo, people in the suburbs were boring as heck, and the things that they did to sound interesting or be interesting were, like, heartbreaking to me. Like, I feel like there was a lot of people at that school that would, like, pretend they knew how to do telekinesis, or there was, like, a lot of girls that would kind of dress like they were goth, and then, like, claim to be able to do something supernatural, or they would, like, growl talk under their breath, or they would wear those weird little, you know, those things where you could like attach it to your finger, but it made your finger a claw, or like these little gold like things you would like slip on your finger. They would like wear those and like tap on things. Mad annoying, you know. All the girls at that school were just mad annoying. So were the dudes. I was annoying. Everybody was trash, but particularly the suburbs was just like sapped of culture. Like there was no actual interesting things. So people were like really trying hard to be interesting. It was kind of like Portland. Ah, that's mean. There's interesting people in Portland, but the overall feel in Portland to me is like a lot of vapid people trying so hard to be interesting. Again, there are very interesting people in Portland. The city vibe is we don't have anything dope going on, but we're so weird. And it's like, yo, freaking Captain Crunch on a donut isn't weird. That's not weird. That's not weird at all. Anyways, go visit Portland at some point, guys. It's a very pretty little thing. It's a very pretty thing to be in. But I wouldn't say that it is the most culturally rich experience. It reminds me a lot of my high school. My school had like a crystal girl who sincerely believes she could increase your health study. Like exactly, thank you, Ava. That's what was happening. There was them too. There was a lot of those too. I've never been, says Leanna. That's funny that you've never been because you're a lot closer to Portland than I am. But go or don't. But I think everybody should go to Portland once because it is very pretty. Walking around the streets of downtown Portland does fill me with a feeling of like, oh, I want to live here. I want to be here. I want to be here forever. It's like how I imagine the like Hansel Gretel thing goes. It's like you go to this place and you're like, oh, it's just dripping with intrigue. What is that? Is that a donut with Captain Crunch? I've seen every season of Portlandia. We gotta move. It looks so fun. Everybody here is so quirky. I think it is very fun though to be there. It's just after coming back, you don't really feel like you've experienced anything. Anything. You come back from New York, you feel like, oh wow, there were things there. There was like a feeling, an attitude. There was like stuff that I can't get here. You go to Japan or something. I don't know. You go to England. You're like, wow, they were really doing it up with their nasty breakfast. Uh, why am I so catty today? What's wrong with me? Their breakfast is really disgusting over there, though. I know that's like a running joke, and I know that's a joke, and it's like partially not a nice joke because everybody has their own cuisine. But when I was in England, I had the English breakfast, the full English or whatever. I had it 3 times, 3 mornings in a row, and I remember consciously making a decision. No, we're not doing this anymore. Like it wasn't even like a mean thing. I just remember like finishing it, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna get like Indian food for breakfast or something from now on, or like I'll just like eat like freaking English muffins and crumpets or whatever in the hostel. Like I'm not gonna do this. I've never like I've never. I didn't even know how I was supposed to eat it actually. When it came out, I had to look at other people because it was like a whole slice of tomato. Oh, wow. It was like a lot of beans, toast. I get that. Spoon, bean, toast. And then there was a big sausage. Just a big sausage on the plate. It wasn't chopped up or anything, it wasn't seasoned. It was just a big sausage. And then a slice of tomato, like a huge, like a beefsteak tomato, like a big slice of tomato just sitting there. And I'm like, am I supposed to chop that up? Do I pick that up with a fork and eat that? Really interesting. Really interesting that is breakfast. And they were just putting freaking. Sorry. Portlandia gave me such strong secondhand embarrassment. I couldn't watch it. Word up, Ava. If you go to Portland with someone who's lived there, they can show you the real stuff that's fun, not the touristy, weird, and quirky stuff. I feel, Maddie. I do have some friends in Portland. They did show me things that I actually appreciated. It sounds like I hate Portland. I don't hate Portland, and it has a lot to offer. It's very pretty. I'm just saying the mood of the city is whack. And a lot of cities have whack moods, so I don't want it to sound like I'm picking on Portland. For example, I think the mood of Austin is very whack. What a whack city mood. You know what city's got a dope mood? Detroit. Ugh, love that city's mood. Not the city. I don't love the city, but the overall vibe there is really dope. I'm gonna try to not say vibe for the rest of the stream. I think oh my god, how are we already through the hour? I'm sorry, I really don't. I don't do the medley like I used to. I don't do the medley like I used to, so I'm gonna start it now. I'm gonna get sidetracked and probably start talking about something again, so forewarning, but I love that city. What is that? What song is that, Zyra? Because I know that. I know that bar. Hey, I get that reference. Put your hands up for Detroit. I love the city. What is that? Who is that? You know, the only reason I know that song is because it was in DJ Hero, but I can't remember what track it was. I did play Jumpin' Jaybird for Maddie, and I did play a version of Vanilla for Lindsay, and I didn't play Over and Under yet. I'm gonna go Over and Under into, ooh, oh no, what did I just do? What was I, oh, that was pretty, but what was I playing? I was playing Jumpin' Jaybird. That's pretty. I like that. What a switch up. Wow, guys. No one else is as excited about this as I am. Kit James is very late, but not too late because I'm still here. Hope you're having a good morning, Kit. Wow, smells like fried fish. Mm. I went driving yesterday because somebody said Thundercats. I went driving yesterday, and I drove by Warner Brothers. Sometimes during the quarantine, when I get really bored, I'll just drive by the movie studios because normally they're like bustling, right? If you drive by Warner Bros, or if I like take the if I get on like Huntington and I like drive through and I go by like Paramount Pictures and like the Disney Studios and stuff, usually it's like there's just little minion. Well, oh, that's mean. They're human beings, but they're all like dressed the same and they're all walking at extremely high speeds. I was like running around with like little like Warner Brothers badges on, you know, picking up lunch and going and doing their thing. It's like looking at an ant colony, you know. It's like they're all coming in one door, out the other. It's a machine, you know. But right now, during quarantine, like all of the big studios are like ghost towns. Like if you drive by Warner Brothers, you drive by Universal, you drive by Disney, you drive by Paramount, you drive by Sony, they're all just like deathly quiet, and there isn't like anything. You can hear like birds chirping, and that's it. And it's actually pretty cool. So I did that yesterday because I had nothing better to do. Kid James is talking about. Oh, was there a character named Kid? I never actually watched Thundercats. I didn't watch Thundercats. It didn't speak to me. The old one or the new one? Okay. Why were you drawing so much, Kiwi? Goodbye, Kmon. Thank you for being on the stream. I appreciate you. I gotta figure out where to go from there because I don't like going here. I don't like going there. I like this corner, and I like this. And I don't know where to go from there because I've been going, but I don't like how predictable that is from here. I don't like that. So I'm trying to figure out a good alternative chord to go to. I'm glad, Jordan. I'm glad. I don't know where your soul was before, but I'm glad it's at ease now. No. Sorry. So. And I still haven't figured out. Oh, I found it. Okay, I found it. Oh, good morning, Sam. Sam has made it to the final moments of the stream. Sam, do you have any questions or comments for me today? Happy Wednesday, by the way. Thursday? Oh no. Oh no, it's Thursday. Oh god, okay. No anxiety, that's fine. Plenty of time to finish work. Coffee or tea? I'm gonna go tea. I don't like coffee. Coffee's like really gross to me. I guess I just don't have the developed taste buds or something, but it just always tastes really bitter. Um, and I'm not the person that enjoys bitter taste. I like spicy things. I like spicy things. You know, like ginger. Like I like ginger beer and stuff like that. But things that are like actively bitter, I don't enjoy. So I'm gonna go tea on that. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the either or. I appreciate it. Sam says, "Got to get the right kind of coffee." I don't know if you're talking about me or you in particular. If you're a coffee person, um, but I assume if you're a coffee person, you would need to get the right kind. I'm a tea person, and I do need to get the right type of tea. I missed the A2 from Happy Lemon, black tea with salted cheese. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean you missed it? Is Happy Lemon out of business? Yo, I love their logo. I want my head to look like that. Anyways, are they out of business or are they just closed for the quarantine thing? Is that what it is? Is that what's going on? You know what I did, Sam? did, Sam. I went on a big road trip. I've talked about this a couple times on the stream. You probably were not here for it, Sam. I went on a very long road trip back when I lived in Arizona, where I went to all of the highest reviewed and rated coffee shops. Not all, sorry. I picked out, I think, 20 of them. And I went on a road trip with my friend Dusty. We went all throughout Arizona. We went all through California. We started in San Diego, then went to LA, and then went to San Francisco, and then went to Portland, and then went to Seattle, and then came back down around to Vegas. Mostly for me. It wasn't really for coffee. I just really wanted to go to Vegas again. And then I went back home. And I hated all of it. I hated all the coffee that I had. It was terrible for me and my sensibilities. And I came to the conclusion, I don't like things that taste bitter. And people did a lot of like, oh, you just didn't get the right coffee, man. Like, you gotta put this in, you gotta put this in it, then you gotta add milk and cream and the sugar and then honey in it. They're like putting all this stuff in the coffee, and I'm like, at a certain point, is this even coffee anymore? And even when they put all that stuff in, it still tasted bitter to me. What it kind of tasted like was it tasted like if somebody had a lump of coal. And I was like, yo, this is whack, bro. And they were like, no, you gotta like put ice cream on it. I can't believe you're eating your coal without ice cream, bro. Just put like a scoop of ice cream on it. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna taste like ice cream. And it didn't. It tasted like coal with ice cream on it. So finally I gave up on coffee. I did try though. I did try. Also, I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to, not everybody, mind you, but a lot of the people that I talked to that were super into coffee, they're like, oh no, it's not great. You just kind of you like develop a taste for it. And I was like, I don't think that I have the patience to keep paying for something I don't like and like bully my own taste buds into liking it. That sounds like a very expensive thing to do. And so I never really got into it. Tea, on the other hand, granted, like if you go to a boba place, they're gonna like put a lot of stuff in your tea, right? They're putting the boba in, they're putting like milk in, kind of like coffee, right? They're putting like sweeteners and stuff in. But I can also just drink straight tea and actually enjoy it. Like I do like black tea and green tea a lot. But some people do just have a sensibility where they really like bitter things. And I commend them for that because I do really, really like spicy things. And I know there's a lot of people that, for example, I marinate my own chicken. It's pretty, I guess it's spicy. And I had a friend come over and I made the chicken for them. But to me, I've just been marinating my chicken in so many different hot sauces that to me that's just how chicken tastes. It doesn't even taste spicy. Like in fact, I dump extra hot sauce on the chicken after I've fried it. And they're like, oh, it's like really spicy. What did you put on this? And I was like, I didn't put anything on it. And I had to remember like, oh, I mean, I marinated it, and there was like a lot of hot stuff in the marinade, but my bad. So yeah, I think a lot of people like bitter things, and that's dope. Oh, I love me some green tea, Sam. I love me some green tea. I feel like I got addicted enough to caffeine to enjoy coffee, says Kit. Interesting. I wouldn't say that I'm addicted to caffeine. I do enjoy caffeine, but caffeine comes in tea, so I don't know. I like tea a lot. Sue Sayer says, what kind of tea do you like? I like black tea, I like green tea if I'm just going like reggies on the regular. I like what's the one that sounds like that pig? Oolong. I like oolong. Ooh. Oolong tea's good. I also like what's that Darjeeling one? That one's alright. That one's alright. Earl Grey I like a lot now. I didn't used to. I don't know if it was just that I was having bad Earl Grey or what, but I like it a lot now. I want a guitar just so I can play that chord. Chords like that. No, too low. So I needed to function in normal society, says Kit, talking about caffeine. I've gotten into barley tea recently. I keep a picture of it in my fridge, and it's super refreshing. Barley tea is really good. Do you like hojicha? Hojicha? Sorry. Hojicha? Do you like that, Maddie? I feel like you would. The L-theanine in green tea curbs my crippling ADHD. Hey, well, that's good. That's good. I want chicken now, says Maddie. Get it. I'm going to eat chicken today. I have some marinating right now. I only like Cafe Stella coffee, but I'm lazy. I'm too lazy to make it. I only drink coffee if someone makes it for me. Well, how about that? I'm really into jasmine tea. Oh, teas have really pretty names, huh? How about that? Jasmine tea is lovely. Interesting. That guy compliments my shirt. Thank you. This is an Elmo Cat shirt, apparently. I didn't buy it from Elmo Cat. I bought it from a town in downtown. A town in downtown? I bought it from a shop in downtown. Uh, that's no longer open. But thank you for the shirt compliment. I appreciate that. Teas are good. Teas are good. Ooh, what? 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 What was that? That was pretty, though. Oh, what? Oh my god. See, this is what I'm talking about. Kay left, but Kay was asking a question. Like, how to come up with new... How to... Oh, is the sneeze finally coming? How to... Oh, it's gone. Anyways, how to come up with new chords and not feel like you're just playing the same things over and over again. That was a mistake, but... I just remembered I have freezer pizza. Oh yeah, that was you. Have you heard of the lick in music? I have heard of the lick, Sam. You know why I know about the lick? Here's another fun story. I played a rave in Richmond, California, which is up in the Bay Area. And the man who booked the rave, such an interesting man. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he is or how he is, but he booked me for this rave, and then months later, after not talking to me at all, he was in LA, I guess, and he was like, hey, I'm in LA, can I come over? And I was like, yeah, I guess, I don't care. And he came over and oh my god, and Crispy Nugget was here. He came over, it was like me, him, Crispy Nugget, and Geo were like hanging out in my room. That was so weird. Um, Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, this dude came over and he's like classically trained. He's like a jazz man, and he was looking at me playing. And he was like, "Oh, you play so well," and I was like, "Oh," because I didn't know that he could play piano. And then he sits down at the piano and he goes, and he does a lot of stuff. And he was like, "Where did you train?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't train. I just taught myself piano." And he was like, "That's really weird because you play the lick a lot." And I was like, "What's the lick?" And he played the lick, and I was like, "I don't think I've ever played that." I said, "I don't think I've ever played it." Whoa! Wait, how do you know who I'm talking about, Liana? Whoa! His name is Franklin. Yo, this is weird. Did I say his name? I don't think I remembered his name. I. Yo, this stream is really weird. I might be getting like sleepy. Oh wow, Leanna just has a really good memory, so I have talked about this before. Anyways, he came over. Me and Leanna are merging. We're drift compatible. So he was like, you play the lick a lot, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, play piano again. And I played piano for a really, really long time. a really long time, being like 20 to 30 minutes, and then he stops me and he goes, "Yeah, that," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "That's love letters," and he was talking about in love letters. No, sorry, not love letters. In this song, he was like, "That's the lick," and I was like, "Oh, interesting." He was like, "It's not exactly the lick, but it's like very, very close to it." And I was like, "Oh, word. What does that mean?" And he was like, "It's just a really common thing that people who are trying to learn how to improv over a specific chord progression do it." He said like a lot of stuff. He used a lot of like musical, music theory stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, it's like a good thing to be able to do, and it's very common." And I was like, "Oh, there must be something really cool and psychological about that." Did I hear the lick in like jazz records and subconsciously somehow put it in my own? Or is there something that is just naturally easy about playing the lick over chord progressions? I don't know. But when he played the lick, he played the actual lick. And I don't remember exactly what it sounded like, but it wasn't this. He was like, he told me, he was like, "You're adding extra notes in it. You have like some extra notes in it, and you're playing it kind of like inverted or whatever." Again, I don't remember his exact words, but in essence, he was saying, "You're not playing the lick, but you're playing a type of it. You're playing like a weird version of it." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then he pulled up like a YouTube video of just like the lick being played by a bunch of different musicians. It was like really long. And it was really funny to hear, and I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting. That's a thing." Hmm. It's kind of a music joke, says Sam. People play it a lot in jazz, intentionally to add some humor to their solo improv. Word. I don't know. Is this funny? Is it? Hey, that's cool though. That's pretty cool. I met him in a drum and bass show, and he was like talking about how he catalogs, organizes events all over California. I hope I get to meet Franklin again. That man is amazing. He was one of the first people. People do this thing a lot. There's always this kind of friction between people who are classically trained and people who are self-taught, or people who are classically trained or have music theory knowledge, and people that are like, "That's the lick. Oh, you played a sick 6-7-3 there, bro. Like, is that the Mixolydian scale?" There's like a lot of people that are like way on that type of time, and there's a lot of people that are like, "I don't know. I'm just hitting the buttons until they sound good." And there is like a weird friction there between those people, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And I think Franklin was the first person that I'd ever met who knew like everything. Now I don't know how anybody can know everything, but his music theory knowledge was so like vast. He was the person that actually like got me into being like somebody who showed me a thing, and then I revisited later, like free jazz, like Coltrane's like Ascension stuff that was like way out there. He has like Coltrane's Ascension memorized, where he's like humming along to it. And I'm like, how do you hum along to basically like a 40-minute improv? But he was, and he having that level of knowledge, and me being basically somebody who was just like making it up as they went along. He was the first person at that level that made me feel like, yo, it's fine. Because when I was playing and he was saying those things, it's impossible sometimes, especially if you're a younger or inexperienced, immature artist. Sometimes it's hard to not feel dwarfed or inferior when somebody comes in and they just like vomit a bunch of information on you that you don't understand. It's almost like being in a room while two people who are fluent in Spanish speak Spanish to each other, and you're kind of sitting there. You kind of start to feel superfluous after a while. And so I think that can happen when you're around a lot of classically trained musicians if you're somebody like me. And I think uh, he could sense that in me, and he was constantly going like, "You know what, don't worry about it. Like, don't feel like you need to learn that stuff." He was like, "Your music's really good, and there's tons of dudes that don't know that stuff and they're crushing it." He was like, "It's just fine. Just keep making music." He's like, "If you ever want to learn that information," he was like, "the information's there. It's in libraries or whatever. But don't learn it just because you feel like you need to understand some other musicians." And I don't know where he is, but I wish I could thank him for that. If anybody ever sees Franklin running around, I don't know if he throws raves anymore, but if he does, I'm certainly not playing them. I'm not getting booked for them, so if you guys see him, say Omni says thanks. Okay. My dad would have the comedy, like rim shot into his drumming for normal songs, which is very entertaining for me, says Ava, and his band who knew to listen for it. Ah. Goodbye, Lindsay. Thank you for being on the stream, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Um, Quoting other pieces of music or rhythm in songs is pretty great. One time I managed to fit the GameCube startup sound into the end of my jazz song. That's pretty dope, Sam. I don't actually know what the GameCube startup sound sounds like. I've heard it a couple of times only in jokes, because I never owned a GameCube. I was off of Nintendo by then. And so I feel like there every now and then there will be like a meme that shows up where somebody either like plays the GameCube startup sound, or they'll have replaced the GameCube startup sound with dog barks, or they have the GameCube startup sound like playing infinitely, like where the little cube covers the entire screen. I don't know. But it was the GameCube startup sound isn't something that's embedded in me as much as say the like the Sega Genesis startup sound. Goodbye, kid. Thank you for being in the stream as well. Hello, the river. Good morning to you. You have joined towards the closing. We have to go over news now. I have a new song out. Um, what the heck? Sorry. Anyways, I have a new song out called "The View." You know what I just realized? There's a TV show called The View, and that's why I have such a hard time saying it. For some reason, when I named The View, a little bit of a peek behind the veil, the name of that song was not always The View. That song, in fact, it didn't have a name until I emailed it out. So that song was in my computer. It was like Untitled Speed Dream Chapter, it was like Untitled Speed Dream Chapter 14 or something like that. It was a Speed Dream track. And then when I had to send it out for the release, I was like, I can't have it with Speed Dream in the title because that'll confuse people who know what Speed Dream is. Like, people will be like, yo, where's the rest of Chapter 2 then? And I was like, so like I had to change the name. And I was like listening to the lyrics. I was listening to the lyrics of the song and I was like, what can I just pull from my own lyrics and make the title? And The View was fine, so I named the song The View. And now every time I have to say it in the stream, for some reason, it like bothers me. And I think it bothers me because I really don't like that show. And so, yeah, sorry. It has no references to The View in it. If maybe that was something you thought. It's a song about me being into somebody that I'm no longer into. So go listen to The View. It's available on Spotify and what have you. Also, I have two EPs, Ego Death and Quick Breath, that are available as well. They're on Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. Go listen to those things if you can, or if you want to. I feel like there's a lot of people that still haven't heard the most recent two EPs. It always is nice when I can finally bully somebody from the stream into listening to them, and they go, "Hey, I actually listened to Ego Death now. Like, it's all right. It's actually pretty good." So yeah, I do have to mention it in every stream. I don't even think everybody here has heard those two EPs, so I do have to mention it in every stream. Sorry for those of you that have heard it and are very familiar with it, but I have to. I have to. Sorry. As far as shows and everything, we're still in quarantine, so that's not going to be happening. I do have my quarantine series every Tuesday. I put up a new song and video on my YouTube. Word up. Word up, Ava. I feel you. I'm the person who is putting out the quarantunes. The quarantunes are weekly, every 7 days. I put out a new tune and a new video to go with it that I shot and edited in my room. Usually, I think I've been in my bedroom for all of the shooting. There is a brief peek through this window at me in the living room, but for the most part, I try to keep the video shot in my room, to fit with the quarantine theme. Yes. Oh, okay, and so Quick Breath and Ego Death are the most recent ones that were out, like officially. But the quarantine just record. Oh crap, we got like paused for a second. Anyways, I would like to make a full on record and release another record. However, um, it's going to be hard to do that with quarantine because I wouldn't be able to like roll out or perform or tour the record. So I've been holding off as long as I can on that, and to keep people kind of tided over, I'm releasing a song every 7 days. These songs aren't Spotify releases, but they're kind of just something to let you know I'm still working on things. I'm not like particularly in hiatus or inactive. And so those are still coming out. When I committed myself to doing quarantines, I did think that quarantine was going to be a little bit shorter. So um, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I haven't really gotten headway through the next one, so it's probably going to be a busy weekend for me as far as the quarantine goes. Um, but we have 7 of them so far. The first one's called Honeydew. The second one is called French Lavender. The third one is called Home Is You. The fourth one is called Dreams Come True. The fifth one is called I'm Not Dead. The sixth one is called Old Enough. No. Yes. And the seventh one is called Money Talks. I'm surprised that I remember them in order like that. Having the 3-syllable titles actually helps me remember them. So, like Honeydew, Home Is You, Dreams Come True, I'm Not Dead, Old Enough, Money Talks. It helps. They kind of roll off the tongue. I hope everybody's been having a good week. Honestly, I keep bouncing back and forth. Social media in particular is like destroying me as of late. I think we all have like waves, I guess, that we go in, right? Waves where you really, really are excited about the internet, and some waves where you just hate it. I've been in the longest like rut of hating the internet that I think I've ever been in my entire life. Like I get on Twitter and I like don't want to see it. I get on Instagram and I don't want to see any of the posts that are showing up on my feed. I don't even want to post anything, but I only post stuff to try to fight the algorithm, which to be honest, I'm losing that fight right now. So, I don't know. I don't know what the best way to navigate that feeling is, but I have my quarantines. This song is called Hush Hour. I wrote it abroad. It is the final song of this stream. Really quickly, Soothsayer says, has anyone else been using the quarantines to recall how long we've been like this? That's actually pretty funny, Soothsayer. I like that. That's funny. I have. I've been using it to recall how long I've been, making them. The 8th one comes out next week, so it'll be 8 weeks for me being in quarantine. I know it's not the same for everybody around the country and world, but that's it for me. This morning was very, very rainy, and I'm hoping for a good summer storm. So I'm going to say have a thundering Thursday. Well, it's blue skies here, baby, so I know that won't be happening for me, but I hope somebody has it. I'm probably going to be working for the majority of the afternoon, but I'm going to take it easy this morning. Try not to make myself go crazy. I think I'm going to go watch a movie. My TV has become like my best friend lately, so I've just been watching movies and stuff. I also might cut my hair. My hair looks like it's short right now, like it's been cut, but it's because I have bedhead. After I finish my workout today, I think I might do a little snipperoozy because it's like touching my ears and getting annoying. But thank you, finally, everybody, for being so respectful to me and polite to each other. It's the internet, so that's always appreciated. I will see you guys here tomorrow for Morning Medley 136, which will be the final stream of the week until we continue here on Monday. Did you get your calapace? No, I did not. I haven't left the house yet today, Conquest. Thank you for reminding me, but no. When I do the stream, here's how the morning goes. Just FYI, I wake up, I work out, I do quick arrangements, and then I finish my workout. And usually I'll make a smoothie and then start the stream. today I did not make my smoothie. I meditated instead. So no, I haven't even left. Usually when you're seeing me, I haven't left my bedroom yet. I haven't left my bedroom. This is usually the last thing I do before, like, I usually finish the stream and then I open my bedroom door for the first time. So, no, I have not gotten my Calpis yet, but I will indeed get it. It's on the schedule. Production stream tomorrow? Says, Cyber, no. No, every 10 streams. So I'll do the next one on 140. I'll do the next one on 140. Yes. Yes. But I'll go get the Calpis. 140. Heavens. Also, yeah, I really wish that I had better internet in my room so that the production stream actually, like, you know, looked and sounded good. There's just no way around that, is there? Yeah, I don't think there's a way around that in here. I'll try to fix it. Maybe I can hotspot myself. Who knows? I'll figure out something, but we're done for today. Thank you again, everybody. Respect and positivity and being polite to each other. I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Abo, everyone. Oh, there he goes. He toppled over. That's okay. It's okay. We're doing all right.